It's hump day, it's Wednesday. My name is George Gary and you're in my kitchen and welcome. We are cooking away all week long. And today we have a little bit of pasta and a cake. So before I keep going, I'd like to welcome you and welcome our photographer Neil. Those of you that only see his hand, you have to come in on Friday to see when he enjoys a beverage. So this week will be tequila. So we're gonna do a margarita. But besides here at home, I'm all over the country. Last night I did a radio show for WGN Chicago AM, and I show up in all sorts of different cities right now from my kitchen. So I've got Lexington, Kentucky this next week on, I believe, CBS. So, and then WGN Television will be this next week, and I know for sure it'll be the following week on National Cheesecake Day because I already filmed that. So if you follow my Facebook, I explain all the ones that I'll be doing. And today we're doing a pasta sauce that's out of the ordinary. And the reason why I say out of the ordinary is because when I was working on my 500 best sauces, salad dressings, marinades, and more book, longest title ever, I had to come up with all these different pasta sauces, and I had tasted a chicken and plum sauce that was so good that I thought this would be really good to make into a pasta. So let's get started, and then we're going to do a apricot almond cake that is so good. So first we take dried plums, and I did this ahead of time, 10 minutes with hot water. I take the dried plums and get them at Trader Joe's because they have pretty good plums there, and dry them, chop them up, and then put some water on top. All these recipes are on the website. So I'm gonna drain that, and while it's draining, I'm going to add to my saucepan. Also, I have 2 chicken breasts already cooked. I just poached them in some water and chopped it up. I've got butter, and yes, it's a lot of butter, but the world's ending, so who cares? Just eat the butter. Right now?
Eat the butter.
Eat the butter. So, we have red wine.
Drink the wine.
Drink the wine. We only use a cup, so. And then last week, or the week before, I did a chicken stock. So we got some chicken stock from that left. And then we have some spices, which is nutmeg, salt, pepper, and then we have some fettuccine that we've already cooked. So we're gonna take the butter and melt that down. And then we will add the chicken and the plums. It's a very simple sauce to make. It's easy and pretty fast. The hardest part is chopping up the plums, really. We got the chicken in there. Chicken's already cooked, so we're just warming it up pretty much. The plums were in hot water, so those are semi warm already. And we're gonna do that until this is all nice and warm. This is a chunky sauce, and it's got sweet and savory-ish. Then we will add the chicken plums, add the wine, and bring it to a boil until the wine has evaporated. So we're just getting the flavor of the wine. So that'll take a minute. Cook. Then we'll add the stock and all of the spices, and we'll just till it thickens up a little bit. Meanwhile, we've got our pasta that I just cooked, and got that.
I'll take a look at the inside.
You want to look at the inside? That's cooking. Here's my hot pasta. And it's bubbling. We're gonna put a timer on for 5 minutes to watch this, and we'll be back when it's done in 5 minutes. All right, so that's the 5 minutes, and it is thick. It almost looks like beef, doesn't it?
It does look like beef.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing.
And now we will put that stock in and all the spices. And we'll stir that up. And we will warm this up a little bit. And it's till it's thickened, which it's almost thickened right now. And you didn't add any thickener really. It's just the thickness of the chicken and the plums thickening, because the fruit does have thickening agent naturally. So we will let that just simmer just a few minutes, and then we will pour on top of our pasta. Okay, it took another 5 minutes just till it thickens, and I didn't want you to sit there and watch it because it's like watching water boil. It's not too exciting. And it does have a beef look to it, doesn't it? But there is our pasta sauce. And it is very, very tasty. And there it is. So when we come back, we'll be making our apricot cake with a glaze on top. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. See you in a sec. I hope you'll try that chicken and plum sauce recipe from my sauce book. It's very unique, very different. It's sweet sour on pasta, but I think if you try it, you'll like it. It's a little different. Plums get a bad rap, or prunes, so we're calling them dried plums. Next, we have an apricot and plum almond cake. It's very European. It's got an almond paste filling, cake base, and then we're going to use some stone fruit on top. And some of the little secrets of this is almond paste. There's two things at the grocery store that are on the top shelf above the chocolate chips. It'll say almond paste, and one will say marzipan. You don't want the marzipan, it's got sugar in it. Now the other thing is, if you go to a grocery store that you don't have European bakers very often around, and it comes in a tube like this, and it will be rock hard solid. Don't worry, you can still use it. But this is very like Play-Doh, and that's how it should be. I'm going to act like it's rock hard solid, so I'll teach you how to use it that way. You need 2 tubes. This is about $6 each. Don't be shocked at the price. Think about it. $6 a piece is $12. This serves 16 people. How, it's less than $1 a piece of cake. And Neil, I've mentioned, is from Berlin. And I love the afternoon in Berlin. People go to little coffee houses like they do in a lot of the European cities. But Berlin especially, they do something different that I didn't realize. Everybody orders a piece of cake or tart, something individual, and they don't share with the other person. It's not like get one for the table and everybody gets a spoon. That's a no-no. So when you go to Berlin, when you're allowed to, go there, have a piece of cake, and get your own. And you don't share, which I'm not into sharing. One time I was in New Orleans with a big group of food people, 12 of us at a table at Bayona. It's a great restaurant. And Susan Spicer owns the place. We're there with 12, round table. Everybody gets a different dessert because she had 12 desserts on the menu. Everyone took a bite and then passed it. I didn't want to pass mine because when it got back, there was nothing left. And I forgot to take a bite to start with. And if you take a dessert, how do you bite 12 bites? You normally don't. So go to Europe, eat your pastry. So we're going to act like this is solid hard rock. When we do that, we cut it into little pieces, we put it in the food processor, and then we add sugar so it will soften up. That's all you do. But with this, because it is soft, just like you're still going to cut it into pieces, and we don't put the sugar in yet. But if you have to, you can put the sugar in. And this is also the same base as my pear almond tart and my cherry tart that I do. And my mother loves the cherry tart. Neil loves the pear almond tart. This is very European, isn't it?
It is.
Are you with me on that Berlin thing?
I am.
With the pastry?
Yes.
Yeah. Neil's being very quiet.
Germans are not very good at sharing.
No, they aren't. They had to share part of their country for a while.
Yeah.
They weren't very happy.
That's
about
why they are that way.
it. Germans are a little different, you know?
Comes from being invaded so much. Yeah. They're
Well-
right in the middle of Europe, so everybody tromped through.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Being in the, well, see? But Germany is a phenomenal country. Not because Neil's from there. I've always loved that place. All right, so we're going to pulse this, or turn it on. But
Oops.
if all else fails, plug in your utensils, your machinery.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, was the thing not on there,
Yeah.
right?
There we go. So if it was rock hard, what you will do is put the sugar in, and it will soften it. I'm going to put the sugar in now. And we've got butter and vanilla. Always makes different sounds when you do different. So we've got the butter. Butter's room temperature, so it's very soft. You don't want it hard, so I let it sit out for a few hours. Put it around the work bowl, even though it's soft, it's gonna blend up pretty fast. And a splash of vanilla extract that I make myself. I was looking at video from trips, and I found the Madagascar videos of the kids singing.
Oh, you did?
They were so cute. I was
Maybe we'll
buying
have to do a segment on Madagascarian food.
Do you remember what the food was there?
I have no idea.
Vanilla beans.
Chameleons.
Well, those were on your lemurs, and we gave them bananas.
Yeah.
Were you afraid in the jungles in
No,
Madagascar? I thought it was really safe. I enjoyed it.
Something up.
My blade.
Big difference.
I guess you have to put things together. So it looks like wet sand right now. So what
See, it even happens to professionals.
What happens?
Mishaps.
That wasn't a mishap. I'm a professional. So we've got our eggs. We're going to do it through the feed tube one at a time. Till it blends. The aroma of the almond is so nice. And then we'll do the next one. And you'll watch it through the feed tube. And then you'll do this third one. And it'll look a little grainy, don't worry about it. And I'm looking at the bowl itself inside, everything's blending well. If it wasn't, I'd take it off and scrape it, but everything's fine until I get the flour in. There's our last one. And we'll add our flour as I throw things across the room. You'd think it was Friday already.
I think you've already had the drink. Oh, that's Friday.
That's why I said you'd think it was Friday. Okay, you want to show them what it looks like? It looks like pancake batter right now. And then we're gonna just take our flour and place it around the work bowl. This will be our cake batter. And the reason why I'm making this cake is I saw that in my pantry I have so much stone fruit and I don't want it to go bad. Last 2 weeks ago from my produce box that I get, and again I've told a lot of you, and so many of you have signed up for it, it's a produce box that you pick what you want, to where I can't eat grapefruit, so I check grapefruit so they never will even offer that to me. but they offer you some interesting things that you've never tried before. So I'll try those. I'm gonna scrape this with a rubber spatula. So what it is, it's I have so much stone fruit. 2 weeks ago when I got a lot of stone fruit, and I knew it was coming, but I thought I'd eat it faster, I just made a small batch of stone fruit jam. And that was the other thing I did this week. I made rose petal jam.
Yes, you did.
That recipe is up on the blog. It's not a part of the shows, but the rose petal jam, oh, that was so good. From roses. I guess that's nice that rose petal jam is from roses. So here's our mixture, and we have our pan, and I've got a paper, parchment lined, and we'll pour this into the pan. And then what I will do is I'm going to keep it right there on this pedestal while I work with it. It's kind of got some more, so I will turn this on just for a sec to get kind of like just a few seconds. Then the blade is clean, and then I can get the rest of the mixture out. Now this you can also put in cupcakes. It's a French dessert that you put a little in the cupcake liner, a little raspberry, about a half a teaspoon, or a tablespoon I mean, and then you fill the mixture up into the cupcake, about 3/4, and then you have buttercream on top. So here's our pan, and now I've got my fruit. I've got some little apricots. The size is going to be perfect for this. And then I've got some little plums that are beautiful. And then we've got some other plums. These are a little larger, so I might cut these. But what I do is I take one of these, and I've washed them, and I'm going to cut them in half and take, these would be perfect to dry also. See, it comes out rather easy. Take this and place it in the batter. And I'm going to do 12 of them at least. And I don't place them down. I place them up. Act like it's a clock.
They're like little boats floating on the
sea
on the lake.
Of creamy.
Sea of almond paste.
Then, now the reason why I do 12 of them, 12 is always an easy number, and in case you have a little piece, there you go. So let me finish putting these all, and then I will go to the other. So here's our apricot, and I don't want to pick it up. You can use the different color fruits if you want. You want them to be able to come off. This, I was cutting it, and the stem is still in there. It's too tight, so I wanted to make it look perfect when it's finished. So we're gonna put this into the oven, and then we'll be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, our cake is out of the oven and cooled, and I've taken it out of the pan. I've got apricot. Apricot is a big thing in Europe that they use for apricot jam, and I strain it, and it makes everything glisten when you go to a French pastry shop and you see it. You strain it out because you don't want any of the chunks, and you can save this. I put a little bit of water into the jam, and this part you can keep it and use it for toast in the morning. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not running like this is. And this is just glazed. And I'm gonna brush this on the cup at the top. Neil's gonna do a close-up of before brushing and after brushing. You'll see the difference. Okay, see, this is all brushed. Do you feel like you're in Europe, Neil?
I do.
And then this, and you want to make sure you get, because the fruit looks a little dried out after it's been baked. So you want it to look appetizing. And so you put the glaze in there, and just like that. That is so European. Reminds me of a joke. So there is our almond cake and our pasta today. We'd like to thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a great day, and make sure you wear your mask. And I'm gonna go have a piece of cake and not share it with Neil. Take care, see you tomorrow.